Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. I was wild in the last take. I'm having to do take two. I got out of control. A lot going on, including a crime wave in California. Let's talk about that. Today's episode is brought to you again by you guys and gals. Every thumbs up is a big help. I know not everybody cares about subscriber numbers and all that stuff, but clicked over to a new record high yesterday. Hit a milestone. That's a really, really big help. We're all in this together, getting this message of freedom and USA out to as many people as possible. So thanks for all of that. You guys really, really are great. All the emails that have come in over the last couple days have been great as well. Just for real, y'all are the best. Now, not a sponsor of today's episode is Shall Not Comply, but a bunch of y'all emailed asking how long this barrel was going to be available. This is a giveaway. It's going to be given away tomorrow afternoon, East Coast time. So every order that comes in over the next, until tomorrow afternoon, I think 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I'm not sure, East Coast time, are going to be entered in, even if you just get a patch or a keychain. So anybody over at shallnotcomply.com, link below, y'all know that. They're not the sponsor. You are. We've talked a bunch about Alex Villanueva. I called him Villanueva on one episode, and a bunch of y'all went nuts on me in the comment section. Shocking that a dude in East Tennessee had trouble with that name. I'm doing my best, people. My best isn't good enough. Alex Villanueva, complete moron. Despite, or regardless of how you pronounce his name, he has messed things up in Southern California. Let me tell you what's going on, then I want to hear your opinion. Now, there's a lot going on in every county in America, but in Southern California, you've got a large prison population. I think we call them jail population for the county. 16,000 inmates in that county. And what does the genius Sheriff Alex Villanueva decide to do? He released 1/4 of the jail population back into society. Now, I do understand that most of those were not violent offenders, if any of them were. However, that's a lot of people to avoid the coming plague. Now, Villanueva is not exactly the brightest bulb in the kitchen. However, and here's one example. His duties as overseeing this emergency situation in LA County he was released from those duties not that long ago. So he's no longer the head cheese in charge of all of the plague situation, but he is in charge of the jail, and he's released 4,200 inmates. And he went to the press recently and he said that he is fearing a crime wave. Wanted to hit you all with this because I think this does affect the citizens in Southern California, but there are inmates being released all over the country. Hillsborough County, Florida, that's the Tampa area, 160 were released just the other day, and to protect all of the inmates from the plague, and one of those 160 within 24 hours committed second-degree murder. Now, he's innocent until proven guilty, but he committed the murder. So it's a mess, and this stuff does affect citizens. Now, in all situations, it's not black and white. There are no black and white situations. Yes, I know those of y'all that had freshman philosophy class, you're going to hit me with all sorts of logical fallacies and say, well, is it black and white? Should you kick puppy dogs? Well, stop it, you 18-year-old, just stop it. This situation's not black and white. Okay, you've got 4,200 inmates. Should they have been held or released to protect them? Well, now we have the data. Of the 16,000 that were in the system, 11 got the virus. And that's it. That is a very low statistical number for 16,000. So we do have that data on the medical side. Now, how about in the social situation? Should you release them? I know part of me says, no, the sheriff's job is to cuff and stuff. However, it's not always that easy. One example, I had a young man here in East Tennessee that I knew. He got caught with a dime bag. He was smoking the reefer. And he got put away 90 days, and it cost him, I think, $5,000 or $6,000 total, and 90 days of his life. It was a big deal. Yet the sheriff that locked him up here was able to lock that kid up in a metal box and then drive across the street after he got off of work and buy a 24-pack of the Beast, Milwaukee's Best, and go back to his double-wide trailer and get bombed out of his brain. So alcohol is legal, marijuana is not, at least here, and you have people being locked up for one, and it's totally legal on the other side. It's complex. Now you may say, Johnny, are you pro-marijuana? I've never smoked it, never will. But I'm just saying that it is socially, it's not easy. However, there are situations like this one when you release 4,200, sheriff, and you come to the press and say, hey, we're fearing a crime wave. Well, you can't have it both ways. And this is what the leftists try to do. They try to have it both ways. Let's make schools gun-free and then be shocked when bad people target those areas. You can't have it both ways. Notice they rarely target banks. Why? Because they're protected. But the leftists want to have it both ways, and I think Alex Villanueva is in that category. He's shocked that there's going to be a crime wave. Now, the skeptical part of me thinks he's probably chasing some sort of federal funding. Probably. That's why he went to the press, because his job is to keep LA County safe, yet suddenly it's not safe because of his decisions. Why go to the press? The tinfoil hat wearer in me says there's probably more to that story. Here's another point. Often when I talk about cops in a negative light, I do get a lot of emails and a lot of comments down below where people say, Johnny, you seem awful negative on the police force. Not at all. Our local cops here are fantastic, especially the county guys. I was out shooting the other day and got called. 2 of them came out to my private shooting range and they said, we had a call that you were shooting an AR-15. And I said, oh, the horror. And they laughed. They said, hey, we just had to come. Anytime we get a call, we have to come. They said, what are you shooting? I said, an AK-47. You want to see it? They said, yep. So we stood in the field and talked for an hour and laughed. Had a great time. Had a great time with those guys. Good guys. Not against cops. I'm against the police state, and that's a topic for another video. Point for today is this. Do you feel that the citizens of Southern California, or maybe even in your area, as all of these prisoners have been released in a lot of places all over the country, is that putting an undue, maybe too much risk on the general population? Or is it, okay, we do need to thin out the prison population? It is a systematic way of making money once they privatize jails. I have no idea about California, but a lot of places privatize jails. It's a money-making machine. Lock these kids up as long as possible. Keep them in the system. Or are you, let's keep these guys off the street and have a clean up these streets, serve and protect Mr. Policeman. Which camp are you in? Are you in the middle like me? It's not easy. There's a lot to it. But there is a lot going on right now. Let me ask you this. Have you heard about what's going on in Hawaii? A lot of y'all have asked me to cover it. There's a lot. I couldn't get to everything this week, but even Hawaii, a ton going on. So regardless, Hawaii, California, the Florida situation, or where you are, let me know down below what's going on and what's happening. Would love to hear your opinions. Oh, and to Sheriff Alex Villanueva from my cold, dead hands. Bye.